Hello and welcome to another tutorial. Today we're going to talk about kind of adding a new customer onto paperwork so that you can use them in the works packages. So first of all, we'll head to customers, which is in the relationships module. And now we've already got a organization set up as a customer, so it's a speedy fix. But we're going to add a new one. So we have a new customer online. So we'll just hit the add new customer button here. So kind of work through each of these sections one by one, just to add a new customer. So first of all, we have a logo for this organization. So they're called MF&R, so manufacture, fix and repair. And so we've added a new logo here. Best thing to do is kind of set it to about 400 by 400 pixels and make it as light as possible. So this is about 800 kilobytes, 8 kilobytes, not 800. So first of all, I'm going to set it as status is active because they're new. And we'll just work through this. So they are MF and R. And I don't know their registration number, but their registration number would be a company's house number or a unique tax reference or a charity's house number. Charity commission number. Next, there's an account number. So this is generally an internal number that your organization would use. So it is MFR001 in this example. And when we click on customer sectors, there's nothing in there. So what I'll do is, after we save this, I'll go back into the references section, add a customer sector, and then show you how this is used. Next, we got SIC codes, so standard industry classification codes. So MF&R, they're kind of a DIY hardware shop. So let's look at DIY. No. So maybe there's improvement in here. Because again, you can search this by name or by code. So if I look in retail, so I have a look in retail in here very quickly. Other retail and non-specialized stores. I think that's probably a good fit for this organization that kind of set for, oh no, this one's better. Retail sale of hardware, paints and glass and specialized store. So as I can see, you can search for retail and then it'll put up a list of retail, or if I search the number here, so 47520, that'll come up as well. So VAT number, don't know their VAT number, and tax rate. So if we click on tax rate here, we can see that we've got a tax rate set up. There's also an information box here. So this information box is important because it just lets you know that adding a tax rate here will cause a blanket change to all the tax rates within the finance area. So if the tax rate is set at customer level, it will overwrite any selections on nominal code level, etc. So this is important if you have an organisation with outside of the UK and you want to set their tax rate to 0. Since this is an organisation inside the UK, we're going to just leave this as optional, and then we'll, in a later tutorial, we'll go through setting those tax rates at the nominal codes. Payment terms, there's no results found, so we're going to leave that. Again, I'll show you how to use that within the notification, within the references section. And then credit limit, well, we'll just put 10,000 in here, so £10,000. Any notes? So I don't have any notes. Again, don't have a telephone number for them, don't have a fax number, don't have an email address, but I do have a location of their headquarters. So I'll just enter that now. So what we have here is PR9 6JU. So let's find an address. Okay, so we know it's on Mills Cop Road, so what we'll do is just delete the address line 1 out, replace that, and then go from there. So invoicing address, so what I know is that the invoicing is always going to be at this site, so that's fine. Then we've got this additional preferences here, so default agreements. That comes into effect with some added software that we can provide all around kind of applications, customer apps. So we're happy with this, we've got the information on here. I'm going to hit add. Oops, there we go. So something went wrong. 10,000 is not valid. So let's remove out the comma in there, and then we can add that customer, and away we go. So Now we've created the customer, we've added all the information into it, and all the information that we had there has been filled in. So the thing to know about paperwork is that the way that their customers and suppliers both kind of follow the same model is that you have like an organization bucket, and then within that bucket information gets put into it. So we've created our bucket here, but this doesn't actually relate to anything, it just holds other information inside of it. So what we can do is we can head to sites and we'll create a site within this bucket that is MF&R. So let's add another site. So again, let's upload our logo. We know it's active. So this is MF and R in Southport. Registration number, again, we don't know what that one is, but we know that we can find that from Companies House, Charities Commission. So consignment note prefix. So if they want a different prefix, then you can change it here. But we know that this is going to be MF&R, MF and R, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if we leave that blank, that'll actually get populated by the system as well. So MFR 001. Again, the SIC codes, that was 45720, I think, from memory. Nope. Retail hardware. Let's find this one. We picked for the top one. There we go. VAT number, again, we don't know that. Tax rate, again, we're just going to leave that blank. Going to leave all this blank, the telephone number, fax number, and email address, but we are going to use that postcode that we used before. So let's copy and paste that in there. Find the address. Again, we know it's Meals Cop, so we'll put that, place that there, and now we can actually put it on the location of this building. So we maximized it here by using these buttons here. And then what we can do is we know it's in this retail park here. So I'm going to drag this over here. I'm going to zoom in a bit. I'm going to put it on the satellite view. And I'm just going to put it, I know it's in this building here. So I'm just going to put that there. And when it does that, it kind of sets your latitude and longitude up and gives you some information as well. And it'll let you know it's in Sefton. It's in the northwest. It's in England. And then again, the invoice, we know the invoice details as they've been set above. Okay, so excellent. So now we've set up a customer and their sites. So let's do that. So now we have information all about MF&R in Southport. So if we click these three dots here, what we can do is we can get some more information about it. So we can see our contacts, we can see our opportunities, sales, jobs, and invoices. But actually, within customers, well, let's go MF&R in customers. There's another feature in here as well. So we've got this summary view. So what we can do is click on the summary view, and we can see all of the information about this particular organization, MF&R. Excellent. Okay. So we can also export out any details about them. So there's no information already because we've just set them up. But this is where you'd go. So you'd go into your three dots here and go to details, and then you could find all of our different information in here about this. Okay, so a couple of things that we said when we started. What we want to do is want to go and add a customer sector here. So what we can do is we can go into settings. We can scroll down to references, and in this box here, we can search customer sector. So customer sectors. Have a look in here. So we have none set at the moment. So this is so customer sectors are just for you as a organization to kind of understand where your customers are coming from. So what we're going to do is literally just type in, so this is retailers. This is a retailer. And this is, it's a DIY retailer. So let's put in retailer DIY. And also we have another customer, which is Speedy Fix, and we know that they're a garage service, so vehicle maintenance. So what we can do is we've set up these two customer sectors. Now we go back to customers. We go into MF&R, and what we can do is click this button here and just go to edit straight away rather than clicking view and edit. And if we go into customer sectors, now we can type in retailer. DIY. So we can add that one in there. Excellent. And now we're just going to click save on that. And then we're going to go out to customers here. So using the breadcrumb at the top here to navigate around. Let's go into Speedy Fix. Again, we're going to click this down arrow next to view, click edit, and then we're going to go into customer sector. So this was vehicle maintenance. So we'll just type in there vehicle maintenance. I also want to click and remove that tax rate there. Excellent. So that was setting up a customer. So we set up the customer organization, which was MFNR. Then we set up a site for MFNR, which was at Southport. We added a reference for the customer sectors. Now, the last thing we want to do is add a reference for payment terms. So payment terms is another area within the references section. So we'll hit payment terms in here. Actually, this is quite a complicated process to go through, but we'll go through it together just slowly through now. So hit on payment. What we're going to do is we're going to set a 28-day. So we're going to call it 28D. This is 28 days after the invoice has been created. So payment date type. So this is after bill date. So we've got 5 options here. So we have days after bill date, of the current month, of the next month, of the month after next, and end of month. So these are all kinds of, you could do number of days, like at the end, like at a current in the current month, a specific date in the next month, a specific date in the month after the next month, and then at the end of this month. But we're going to set ours to 28 days. So we're going to pick days after bill date. So we'll click on that one. And then we're going to specify 28. So there's a little helper here that says specify number of days, e.g. 30 for 30 days after the bill date of the month or month. So 28 days, 28 days after bill date, system locked, we're going to hit no. So system locked is just something that once it's been created, it can never be changed. So we're clicking system lock no because we might want to change this in the future. So we're going to hit submit on that one. And it's created 28D there. So again, we're going to go back to customers. We're going to go back to MFNR, go and press our down button here. I'm going to edit this. And we're going to find our payment term here, 28D, and then that's populated that. So that means as this, when we get into the invoicing section, this will have a specific set due date on the invoice. Okay, now that we're in the customer section, there's a few other details that we should go through quickly. So one of them, if we go back to customers here, and you might have noticed when we click this, we clicked on edit before, but we've also got 2 other options here. So one of them is put on stop. So your customer might not be paying their bills, so you might want to put them on stop. So if we hit put on stop, warning messages come up saying you're going to put them on stop, and then we're asked why we're going to be putting them on stop. So has hit credit limit. So we're going to put them on stop. And then we can see that the status here has changed it to on stop. One of our customers is on stop. And if we go in here, we can see that MFNR are on stop here. Then if we hover over, click on the status, it says reason for being on stop has hit credit limit. Excellent. So you can see you have control of your customers at quite a granular level within this site. So what this has done, because we're at the organization level here, not at a site level, the organization has been put on stop, which means all of the sites below it are also on stop. It doesn't come up on here because, as you can see here, they're on stop, but although quotes, price lists and agreements can be made for these organizations, they're unable to go through a job created against them. If, however, it wasn't the whole organization and just an individual site, what we can do is we can edit here. We can take them off stop, back to active, just update that there. We can go into sites, then we can do exactly the same process at site level. So we can put these on stop. Reason for being on stop, Southport hasn't paid latest invoice, put on stop. So this means that only MFNR Southport have been put on stop, not the whole organisation, not the other sites. So these are some of the features within the relationship modules. This is a very basic look into customers. We'll come back around and kind of look at the more detailed views later on. But yeah, thank you very much for your time today. See you in the next video.